The movie Downfall, directed by Oliver Hirschberg, portrays the collapse of the Nazi regime in 1945 during World War II after the Soviet armies closed in on Germany from the west and south borders, which ultimately led to the end of the Third Reich. The film Downfall portrays a close insight into Adolf Hitler's final days inside a bunker beneath Berlin. From Traudl Jung, who was hired by Hitler as a secretary in 1942 and shared the reality of the event to Hitler's decay in body and mind and the collapse of the Third Reich, making the film a reliable source of content. Within the movie, Adolf Hitler proclaims that Germany will still achieve victory despite coming to the near end and continued to order his generals to fight to the last of their men. Downfall shows senior German leaders such as Himmler and Göring deserting from their once-loved Führer in an attempt to save their own lives, while others, such as Joseph Goebbels and his family, remain loyal to Hitler and pledge to die with him and refuse to accept the reality of Germany's surrender. During this time period, Hitler himself falls into a state of paranoia, full of optimism one moment and suicidal depression the next, which portrays the reality of the immense effects war has on human psychology. From the companion reading Last Days of Hitler, written by Huge Trevor, Huge describes Hitler's dependency on artificial stimulants to cover up his exhaustion. Hitler's physician Morell, page 53, states, "Most other men would have broken down under the strain of such a life," which portrays the inevitable psychological breakdown of Hitler and his need for stimulants and the reality of Germany's defeat, which led him to commit suicide. The companion reading further illustrates on page 64 that a year before the end of the Third Reich, on the 20th of July 1944, when the conspirators attempted to assassinate Adolf Hitler, though they represent a military, political and psychological crisis, it had little physical significance in the life of Hitler. However, a year after, in 1945, when the Führer took his own life, although the quote states that events had no physical significance on Hitler's life, it has nevertheless led to his fall psychologically, making him seen as a lunatic that's cut loose from reality, as the Secretary Jung proclaims in the film. The film's message was to give this depiction to further understand the psychological exhaustion Hitler experienced, as he found out that some of his most trusted circle disobeyed his orders in the near end, such as when his architect and armaments minister, Albert Speer, openly told Hitler how he hadn't been executing his wills for the past few months. This has been the final hit where Hitler felt betrayed by his own people and lost hope for all of Germany, refusing to accept surrender, which ultimately led to his only option, suicide.